147-pound sparring partner tells Manny Pacquiao to relax during a routine session at Wildcard Gym. 2 punches later, he can't form words. What happens in those 11 seconds doesn't just end the sparring session. It changes how that young fighter understands the difference between talent and mastery forever. Los Angeles, February 2009. Wednesday afternoon. Wildcard Boxing Gym on Vine Street in Hollywood. The place smells like sweat and leather and decades of hard work. Fluorescent lights hang from exposed ceiling beams. Heavy bags lined against brick walls. Speed bags rattling. Jump ropes slapping concrete. The sound of gloves hitting mitts echoes through the space like artillery fire. This isn't a boutique fitness gym. This isn't where people come to feel athletic. This is where real fighters are built. In the main ring, Manny Pacquiao moves through footwork drills. Small, compact. 147 pounds of precisely conditioned muscle. He's preparing for Hatton. The fight is scheduled for May 2nd at the MGM Grand. Hatton is undefeated at light welterweight. Vicious body puncher. Relentless pressure fighter. The kind of opponent who breaks people in the later rounds. Manny needs to be ready. Needs to be sharp. Needs sparring partners who can replicate Hatton's style without actually trying to hurt him. Freddy Roach stands outside the ring. 50 years old. Former fighter turned legendary trainer. Parkinson's tremors visible in his hands, but his eyes miss nothing. He's watching Manny's feet. The angle of his shoulders. The snap returning to his hips after each combination. Freddy has seen thousands of fighters. Trained dozens of champions. But Manny is different. Manny moves like violence set to music. 3 sparring partners are scheduled today. The first 2 already finished their rounds. Both are experienced. Both gave Manny good work. Pressured him. Made him think. Made him adjust. That's what sparring is for. Not winning. Learning. Testing things under controlled conditions, so they work under real conditions, when everything is chaos and your opponent is actually trying to hurt you. The third sparring partner arrives late. His name is Chen. 23 years old. Chinese-American. Grew up in San Francisco fighting in the amateur system. Good amateur record. 47 wins, 8 losses. Fast hands. Decent power. He's been turning pro. Won his first 3 fights. All by knockout. He's hungry. Talented. Everyone at Wildcard knows Derek has potential. But Derek also has something else. Confidence that hasn't been tested yet. The kind of confidence that comes from winning against people who aren't elite. The kind that makes young fighters
think they understand something they haven't experienced yet.
Derek walks into the gym carrying his gear bag. Red Everlast gloves. Custom mouthpiece. He's wearing a tank top that shows off his arms. He's built 5'110", maybe 160 pounds. Cut. He looks like a fighter. Moves like a fighter. Freddy nods at him. Derek, you're up. Get wrapped. Derek sits on the bench and starts wrapping his hands. He's watching Manny in the ring. Manny is hitting the mitts with Boo Boy Fernandez. The sound is sharp, precise. Each punch lands exactly where Boo Boy positions the mitt. No wasted motion. No unnecessary flourish. Just efficiency. But Derek doesn't see mastery. He sees a small man throwing punches. The small man he outweighs by 13 pounds. The small man who looks relaxed. Too relaxed. Derek finishes wrapping. Pulls on his headgear. Slides in his mouthpiece. Climbs through the ropes. Freddy calls out. 3 rounds. Work the jab. Pressure. Make him move. This isn't about landing big shots. This is about giving Manny looks he'll see from Hatton. Derek nods. Understands the assignment. Or thinks he does. They touch gloves. Manny smiles. That easy smile that appears in every interview. The smile that makes him seem friendly. Approachable. Not dangerous. Derek smiles back. Confident. Ready. The bell rings. Derek comes out orthodox. Establishes his jab. He's taller. His reach is longer. He's supposed to use that. Keep Manny at distance. Make him work to get inside. That's the game plan. That's what Freddy wants to see. Manny moves forward. Not fast, just steady. Closing distance. Derek jabs. Manny slips. Derek jabs again. Manny ducks under. Now he's inside Derek's range. Too close for Derek's jab to work effectively. Derek needs to reset. Needs to step back and re-establish distance. But Derek doesn't step back. He tries to tie Manny up. Clinch. Control him. Make him reset. That's smart boxing. That's what you do when a shorter fighter gets inside. Except Manny doesn't clinch. He pivots, exits the pocket at an angle Derek didn't expect. Now Derek is reaching. Off balance. Manny could counter but he doesn't. Just resets. Derek circles. Tries again. Double jab. Manny slips both. Derek throws a right hand. Manny pulls back. The punch misses by 3 inches. Manny still hasn't thrown a punch. Just moving. Observing. Reading Derek's rhythm. His patterns. The way he drops his left hand slightly after throwing the jab. The way he leans forward when he commits to the right hand. 30 seconds into the round. Derek realizes Manny is studying him. Not fighting him. Studying him. Like a test he hasn't started answering yet. Derek tries to pressure. That's what Freddy wants. Pressure. He walks Manny down. Throws combinations. Jab, jab, right, left hook. Manny slips everything. Doesn't even look like he's working hard. Just moving his head. Shifting his feet. Small adjustments that make Derek's punches hit air. 1 minute in. Derek is breathing harder than he expected. He's throwing punches. Manny is just moving. But Derek feels like he's the one working. Like he's chasing something he can't catch. Freddy calls out. Relax. Derek, don't rush. Stick to the jab. Derek nods. Tries to slow down. Breathe. Reset. He moves back to the center of the ring. Manny follows. Not aggressive. Just patient. Waiting. Derek throws his jab again. Manny slips. Derek throws it twice more. Manny slips both. Then Manny throws his first punch of the round. A jab. Not hard. Just fast. Snaps Derek's head back. Derek blinks. Surprised. He didn't see it coming. Didn't see the wind up. Didn't see the tell. It was just there. On his face. Derek responds. Throws a combination. Manny blocks. Counters with a right hand to the body. Derek feels it through his arm. Solid thump. His elbow took most of it, but the power is real. More than he expected from someone 13 pounds lighter. The round continues. Derek tries to box. Tries to move. Tries to control range. Manny is always just a little closer than Derek wants him to be. Always just outside Derek's rhythm. Always making Derek work harder than Manny seems to be working. The bell rings. Round 1 over. Derek goes to his corner. Breathing hard. Not exhausted. Just frustrated. Freddy comes to the ring apron. You're reaching. Stay behind your jab. When he gets inside, tie him up. Don't try to trade with him. Derek nods. Understands. Round 2 starts. This round Derek commits to the game plan. Jab. Movement. Distance control. And it works better. He's keeping Manny at range. Making him work to get inside. When Manny closes distance, Derek clinches. Holds. Resets. It's not exciting but it's effective. This is how you spar with someone faster. You don't give them openings. 2 minutes into round 2. Derek feels more confident. He's handling this. He's holding his own against Manny Pacquiao. Sure, Manny isn't going hard. This is sparring. But Derek is doing the job. He's giving Manny work. Making him adjust. That confidence creates a small mistake. A moment of relaxation. A split second where Derek's guard drops just slightly. Where his focus softens. Where he stops treating Manny like a threat and starts treating him like a sparring partner. Derek circles left. Throws a lazy jab. Not crisp. Not committed. Just going through the motion. Manny is across the ring. Relaxed. Smiling slightly. And Derek says it. Says the words he'll replay in his mind for years. Relax, champ. 2 words. Casual. Almost friendly. The tone is light. Derek means it as encouragement. Like he's saying this is just sparring, we're both just working. No need to stress. But those 2 words carry an assumption. An assumption that Derek is in control. That Derek is handling this. That Manny needs to relax because Derek isn't a threat. The gym doesn't go silent. The other fighters are still training. Heavy bags still swinging. Speed bags still rattling. But the people who matter. The ones watching this ring. They hear it. They hear Derek tell Manny Pacquiao to relax. Freddy's eyes narrow. Boy stops wrapping another fighter's hands. The assistant trainers glance at each other. Everyone knows what's about to happen. Everyone except Derek. Manny doesn't respond verbally. Doesn't say anything. His expression doesn't change. Still smiling. Still relaxed. But something shifts. Something invisible. Something Derek won't recognize until it's too late. Manny takes one step forward. Just one. Closes the distance. Derek is still moving. Still circling. Still thinking he's in control. Still thinking this is friendly sparring. Then Manny throws the first punch. Left hand. Not a jab. A straight left. His power hand. It comes from an angle Derek doesn't expect. Travels maybe 8 inches. Compact. Fat. No telegraph. No wind up. Just acceleration and precision. It hits Derek on the jaw. Clean. Precise. Right on the button. Derek's legs wobble. Not badly. He doesn't go down. But his brain registers impact in a way it hasn't registered anything else this session. That wasn't a sparring punch. That was a real punch. Controlled. But Derek tries to reset. Tries to get his guard up. Tries to move. His body is slower than his brain. Everything feels delayed. That's what happens when you get hit clean. The signal from brain to muscle stutters. Manny doesn't chase, doesn't rush, just waits. 1 second. 2 seconds. Lets Derek try to recover. Lets him think he's okay. Derek gets his guard up, gets his feet under him. His vision is clear. He's not hurt. Not really. Just shocked. He opens his mouth to say something. Maybe to apologize. Maybe to signal he's okay. Maybe to call time. Then Manny throws the second punch. Same hand. Same angle. Different target. This one goes to the body. Right under Derek's left elbow. Between the ribs and the floating rib. Liver shot. Perfect placement. Perfect timing. Derek's elbow is raised just enough from the first punch. The opening is only there for a fraction of a second. Manny finds it. The punch lands. Derek's entire body seizes. Not from pain. Not yet. From the signal. The liver punch sends a signal to the nervous system that overrides everything else. Immediate. Involuntary. The body shuts down. No choice. No toughness. No mental strength. Pure biology. Derek's knees buckle. His guard drops. His mouth opens but no sound comes out. He tries to breathe but his diaphragm won't expand. He tries to speak but his jaw won't work. He tries to stay standing but his legs don't respond to commands. He doesn't fall, doesn't collapse, just folds. Slowly, controlled. His knees hit the canvas first, then his gloves. He's on all fours, head down, trying to breathe, trying to process what just happened, trying to make his body obey his mind again. Manny steps back immediately, doesn't celebrate, doesn't gloat, just steps back and raises his gloves. Universal signal for I'm done. Freddy climbs through the ropes. Bobboy is already there. They help Derek to his corner, sit him on the stool, remove his mouthpiece. Derek is gasping, not from exhaustion, from the liver shock. His diaphragm is slowly releasing, breath is slowly returning, but speech isn't. He tries to say he's okay, can't form the words. His jaw works but nothing comes out. The neurological disruption from the liver shot is still cascading through his system. Freddy holds up a finger. Don't talk, just breathe. Derek nods, sits there, breathing. His face is red, not from embarrassment, from the effort of trying to make his body work normally again. 30 seconds pass. 45 seconds. 1 minute. Finally Derek can speak. I'm good. I'm okay. His voice sounds rough, shaky. Freddy hands him water. Derek drinks, spits into the bucket. His hands are trembling slightly. That's adrenaline. That's the body's response to trauma it wasn't expecting. Manny walks over. No malice. No anger. Just calm. You okay? Derek nods. Yeah. I'm good. Manny says quietly. In sparring, we're partners. Not friends. Not enemies. Partners. You help me. I help you. But respect the work. Derek understands immediately. He told Manny to relax. Told a world champion preparing for a massive fight to relax. During sparring. During the work that keeps Manny sharp, keeps him ready, keeps him alive in a sport where one mistake can end careers. Derek says, I'm sorry, champ. That was stupid. Manny nods. We're good. You gave me good work today. Thank you. He touches gloves with Derek, then climbs out of the ring, goes back to the mitts with Bobboy. Like nothing happened. The session continues. The gym continues. Everything goes back to normal, except for Derek. For Derek, nothing is normal. He sits in the corner for another 2 minutes. Freddy doesn't rush him, just lets him process. Finally, Derek climbs out of the ring, takes off his gloves, unwraps his hands. His fingers are still shaking slightly. One of the other fighters, a lightweight named Carlos, comes over. "You good, man?" Derek nods. "Yeah, just got reminded of something." "What's that?" "The difference between being good and being great." Carlos glances at Manny. Manny is hitting mitts, fast combinations. The sound is sharp, precise. Every punch exactly where it's supposed to be. Carlos looks back at Derek. "What happened in there?" Derek shakes his head. "I told him to relax." Carlos winces. "Oh man." Derek continues. "First punch, I thought he was just sending a message, letting me know I crossed a line. Second punch, Derek trails off, touches his ribs where the liver shot landed. Second punch, I couldn't breathe, couldn't talk, couldn't do anything. My body just stopped working. I've been hit hard before, sparred with big punchers. This was different. This wasn't about power. This was about precision." Carlos nods. "That's Manny. He doesn't have to hit you hard. He just has to hit you right." Derek watches Manny train. Really watches now, not with the casual observation of before. With focus. With respect. With the understanding that he just learned something he couldn't have learned any other way. He sees how Manny's feet are never planted. Always moving. Always adjusting. How his weight transfers completely into every punch. No wasted motion. No decorative technique. Just efficiency. How his eyes track Boo-Boy's mitts before they move. Reading. Anticipating. Reacting faster than the stimulus. This is mastery. Not talent. Not potential. Mastery. Years of work compressed into fractions of seconds. Thousands of hours of training that disappear into instinct. The kind of skill that makes the impossible look casual. Derek finishes unwrapping. Stuffs his hand, wraps into his bag. He should leave. Should go home. Should ice his ribs and forget this happened. But something keeps him there. He sits on the bench. Watches Manny train. Watches the way Freddy corrects small details. The angle of a shoulder. The pivot of a foot. The timing of a breath. After 20 minutes, Manny finishes his mitt work. Starts his cool down. Light shadow boxing. Stretching. Derek approaches. Hesitant. Respectful. "Champ, can I ask you something?" Manny is stretching his hamstrings. Nods. "Of course. How do I get from where I am to where you are?" Manny looks up. Studies Derek's face. Sees genuine question. Not flattery. Not hero worship. Real hunger to understand. Manny says, "You're 23. You think you're good." Derek considers. Honest answer. "I thought I was. Before today I thought I was really good." Manny nods. "That's the first step. Knowing you're not. I started fighting when I was 12. I'm 30 now. That's 18 years. Every single day I find something I don't know. Something I need to improve. The moment you think you've arrived, you stop growing. But you're a champion. Multiple weight classes. You've arrived." Manny shakes his head. "No. I'm just further along the path. The path doesn't end. There's no finish line. Every opponent teaches me something. Every sparring session shows me gaps. Today you taught me something." Derek looks surprised. "I taught you. You showed me I need to be more patient. I reacted to what you said. That's ego. In a real fight, ego gets you hurt. I should have stayed calm, used it as practice for staying focused when opponents try to get in my head." Derek realizes something. Manny isn't just physically better. He's mentally different. He takes a moment where he dominated, where he proved his point, and turns it into a lesson about his own weakness. That's not talent. That's discipline. Derek asks, "How do you stay motivated? You've won everything. Made millions. You could retire tomorrow." Manny sits on the ring apron, pats the spot next to him. Derek sits. Manny says, "I don't fight for motivation. I fight because it's who I am. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. On days I don't want to train, I train anyway. On days I'm tired, I train anyway. On days I'm sore, I train anyway." That's not motivation. That's commitment to the process. What's the process? Small improvements every day. Not big jumps. Not dramatic changes. Just tiny refinements. Better footwork. Faster hands. Sharper timing. Over months, those small improvements compound. That's how you get from good to great. Not one big moment. Thousands of small moments. Derek absorbs this. He's heard similar things before. Every coach says it. Work hard. Stay disciplined. But hearing it from someone who actually lives it, who just demonstrated the result of that philosophy with 2 punches, the words carry different weight. Manny continues, Today you learned something valuable. You learned what happens when you disrespect the work. Not disrespect me. Disrespect the work. Sparring isn't socializing. It's training. Every second matters. Every round matters. You help me get better. I help you get better. But it's serious work. Even when we're smiling. Derek nods. I won't forget that. Good. Manny stands. Stretches his shoulders. You're talented, Derek. I see it. But talent is common. Discipline is rare. Respect for the work is rare. Humility is rare. You want to be great? Start there.